Hey, everybody. In this video, we are going to talk about how to get law firm clients from Facebook and Instagram, even if it hasn't worked before. Now, I want to know in the chat, let me know, give me a yes or no if you've ever run Facebook ads, if you run Instagram ads, and you've tried to get clients, but it hasn't worked. Or let me know kind of what the results have been, because I'm very curious to know. Now, this is going to be a really cool tutorial because it's going to show you how to make this strategy work because billions and billions of people use these services every single day. And if you can actually figure out how to make it work, it can be very, very lucrative for your business. Now, few housekeeping things. First of all, I'm going to be giving away a cheat sheet of this entire strategy at the end of this video, right? So all you have to do is stick around, and then I will tell you at the end of the video how you can get the cheat sheet that lays out the exact strategy that I'm going to lay out for you in this video. So do not go anywhere. And the second thing I want to tell you about is I want to tell you about an event that has coming up in December, and it's called the New Year, New You 2024 Bootcamp. And it's going to be freaking awesome. We're doing it in December. And what's cool is that we have this thing that we call the law firm acceleration growth model. I'm going to show you this right here. And basically what we figured out after working with, thousands of lawyers, we figured out that it really only takes four things to grow a law firm, right? And it's kind of been staring us in the face this entire time. And this is something that we really came up with over the last couple months. But the reality is you only need four things to grow a law firm. That gives you revenue, profits, and freedom, right? So the first thing you need is you need an abundance of leads. You need a predictable source of leads. So I'm going to show you in this video how you can get leads, right? And then the second thing you need is a reliable intake system, because if you have lots of leads, but you don't have a system that actually converts those leads into clients, that doesn't really do you any good. And then you need a self-managing team full of rock stars that follow processes that you put together. And then lastly, you need to make a profit, right? Because if you do all this, but you don't make a profit, then you can't have any freedom. You can't reinvest in marketing. You can't give your clients amazing results, all that type of stuff. So we created a boot camp that's going to show you how to do all of these things, how to basically, check all four of those boxes so that you can have a law firm that gives you more revenue, more profit, and more freedom. So if you want to get a ticket for this, tickets are only $1 right now. There's a link in the description, I believe, where you can get a ticket to this event. So don't miss it. It's going to be awesome. And we sell out every one of these events. So make sure to grab your ticket before it sells out. Now, let's get into how to get law firm clients from Facebook, even if it hasn't worked before. And I know there's a lot of people out there that it hasn't worked before. So let me know in the comments again if you've used Facebook, if you've tried it, if it's worked, if it hasn't worked, and kind of what happened with it. So I really kind of started understanding what was happening with Facebook once I started talking to our business partner, Ethan Ostroff. Now, Ethan runs Ethan Ostroff Law out of Philadelphia, and he's a personal injury law firm. And in about 18 or so months, he's generated, and these are the numbers as of 10 minutes ago, he's generated 2,242 cases in 18 months. 2,242 signed cases, right? Now, those cases have come from 27,350 leads, right? So he got 27,350 leads, 2,242 cases. Now, if you're doing math, you realize that that's actually only 8% of those leads turned into cases. Now, a lot of people look at that and they say, well, that's really bad. That sucks. And the common thing that I hear about Facebook all the time is that, oh, the leads suck. The leads are no good. I ran Facebook ads, I ran Instagram ads, and all I got was crappy leads. And I hear that over and over and over again. But I want to tell you one statistic that blows all of these objections out of the water. $217 per case. That's how much a couple months ago, and I think it's gone up a little bit, but not that much. A couple months ago, these numbers weren't that different. It was $217 per case. Now, I haven't talked to him today to see exactly what his cost per case is today, but I guarantee it's not much more than that. It's not $300. I guarantee that. It's around $217 per case. So if you can get cases on Facebook at $217, $220, let's call it $250, right? Say $250 per case. And these are injury cases. That's the best thing ever. And the cool thing is that 8% of the leads are good, 92% of the leads are bad. Now, most lawyers and most law firms focus on those 92%. And they say, yeah, I got a bunch of leads and most of them were junk leads, right? So the difference is that Ethan has a system to sort through the leads and find the good cases out of those leads. And by doing so, he's getting cases really, really cheap, and he's growing his law firm like crazy. Like I said, 2,242 cases in like 18 months. That's like ridiculously crazy, right? So how does he do this? How do you actually put a system in place, right? Because if you can actually do this, then you can create a defensible moat around your law firm. And that's one of the most valuable things that you can have in a business is a moat that doesn't allow other people to have the same competitive advantage that you have. Most people look at Facebook ads and they say, it doesn't work. I got crap leads. Doesn't work. I got crappy leads. But the reality is that no, it's just you need a better system to sift through the leads, right? I actually, I remember we have these two clients. They're both criminal defense attorneys. We ran the exact same campaign for them, two different clients. They both got about 300 leads, DUI campaign, and it was on Facebook. Called the first attorney, and I said, how many cases did you get out of 300 leads? He didn't get any. He got a big goose egg, right? So I said, well, what happened? How did you not get any? You got 300 leads. How did you not get any cases? He said, well, I called him, but nobody answered the phone. So I said, well, how many times did you call him? He said, I called him once, maybe twice, which we all know he called him one time, right? So then I called the other attorney, attorney B, and I said, okay, you got 300 leads. How many cases did you get? He said, well, I got 75 cases. I said, how did you get 75 cases? I talked to another attorney, and he ran the exact same campaign, exact same ads, exact same landing page, exact same everything, and he didn't get any cases. He said he couldn't get anybody to pick up the phone. And I was talking to the attorney, and he kind of laughed a little bit. And he's like, yeah, nobody answers the phone the first time. There's like 1 billion robocalls that happen every year. I've got this every day. I've got this really cool system. It's called 3 times 3 ways. And what that means is that every time a lead comes in, he has a system. First, they get a text message, then they get a phone call, and then they get an email. And if his staff doesn't hear back from them, if they don't make contact the first day, then the next day they get a text message, then they get a phone call, then they get an email. And if they still haven't heard back, then on day 3, they get another text message, they get another phone call, and they get another email. And that's the difference between 0 cases and 75 cases. And these are DUI cases. So I'll let you imagine what the math is and what the economics are of this campaign, right? I mean, it's significant, right? So what's funny is that fast forward a little while later, I talked to Ethan, and I was talking to Ethan about his system, and he actually does the same thing. It's a text message, a phone call, an email, text message, phone call, email, text message, phone call, email. But he doesn't do it 3 times. He doesn't stop after just 3 days. He does it for 15 days because on day 10, people will get back to him, and day 11 and day 12 and day. So basically what happens is it's a follow-up system, but the real difference is that the attorney that I talked to, the first attorney that I talked to, he runs his law firm like a job, right? He runs his law firm like a job. The second attorney that I talked to, and Ethan, runs their law firms like a business. They actually have teams in place that do this for them. If you actually look at the law firm acceleration model, what's number 3? A self-managing team and an intake system. It's a little blurry right there. Let's see if it'll focus. I don't know if it'll focus. There we go. Self-managing team and intake, right? You cannot have freedom if you don't have a system that converts leads into clients reliably and a self-managing team that is full of rock stars that run the business the way that you want them run, right? So in addition to the 3 times 3 ways, there's a lot of other things that you can do to sign these leads up. And then in a minute, I'm going to tell you how to actually generate the leads. But the most important part is the intake. The most important part is the intake, because if you get 1 million leads and you suck at intake, you're not going to get any clients, right? So a couple of things. We do the 3 times 3 ways, right? Where we text, call, email, text, call, email, text, call, email. Now, when you text, the first time you text, you want to include your name or whoever's doing it. It shouldn't be you. It actually should be somebody from your team. It should be a dedicated person on your intake team. We actually use, we have lots of different ways, sometimes it's in-house staff, sometimes it's outsourced help, whatever it is. You want to make sure that they're doing this, right? So they text with the name. So what they want to do is they want to say, "Hi, Bill. This is Jessica from attorney Mark Smith's office." Actually, they want to say the full name. "This is Jessica Smith from attorney Mark Smith's office," right? So that's the first thing they want to do. Now, why do they do that? Why do they want to include the name? The reason you want to include the name is because if you've ever gotten a call on an iPhone, every once in a while you'll see it says maybe John Smith, maybe, whoever, right? Where that comes from is that comes from emails and text messages. So if you send if you send a text message that has your name, says maybe John Smith, maybe, whatever your name is, and give them 15 minutes or so to open it and then call them, then it's going to pop up maybe John Smith. And that is more likely to get the phone answered because, again, remember, everyone is getting robo-dialed out the wazoo. So you have to make sure that they know that it's actually a call that they want to take. Now, in that same text message, they should also ask for a good time to call. They should ask, when is a good time for us to talk, right? That's the easiest. That's the path of least resistance. Find out when they're actually available, right? So you want to text message with the name and also ask when a good time for them to talk is. And you can even say, "I'm available now if you can talk now," right? 15 minutes. Wait 15 minutes because that gives them time to open the text message. And then you're going to call. Now, if they don't answer, hang up and call again. You want to do the double dial. Now, the reason you do the double dial is because robocalls, robo-dialers don't double dial. You know who double dials? Like your kid's school and people when it's an emergency. That's who double dials. Now, here's the thing. Don't feel bad about double dialing because of the fact that if they contacted your office, like usually it probably is an emergency. Like it's not people usually don't call lawyers with good news, right? It's usually something bad happened. Now, if they say something like, "Oh, why'd you double dial?" Say, "I just want to make sure you knew that I wasn't you knew I wasn't a robo dialer," right? People don't get mad about it though. Like, don't worry about that. I know lawyers freak out about that. Don't worry about it. Now, if you call, text, email, and don't get a response on day one, then day two, you're going to repeat the same process, but you're going to do it at a different time. You're going to, so think about these different call windows, right? So there's 9 a.m. to noon, and then there's noon to 3 p.m., and then there's 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., and then there's 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So you want to vary the call windows that you call in because if somebody's taking their kids to school every morning at 9 o'clock, and you're always calling at 9 o'clock, or maybe they're at the gym at 9 o'clock and you're always calling, well, you're not going to get them on the phone, right? You have to call different times. Now, what Ethan tells me is that he uses something called the golden hours. And the golden hours are when he signs up the majority of his cases. And the golden hours are from 5 to 9 p.m. and on weekends. So 5 to 9 p.m. and on weekends. And that's because people are home, right? They're not at school. They're not at work. They're not doing whatever they're doing. They're typically home cooking dinner or watching TV or watching Facebook or whatever it is. But that's when people are more likely to answer the phone between 5 to 9. So make sure that you're calling between 5 to 9. Most law offices close at 5 o'clock and you never make a single call after 5 p.m. Well, that's your golden hours. Same thing with the weekends. Pay somebody extra if you have to because it's going to sign up more cases for you, right? Now, another thing that you can do, and I love doing this, when you leave a voicemail, you can, and this works when you have some information about their case. You can use curiosity, right? If you have some sort of information about their case, you can say one line that I love and has proven to work is, "I have an idea I'd love to get your opinion on," right? So you can say, "Hey, Bill, this is Mike Smith. I was looking at you contacted me because of your recent DUI, and I was looking at some of the facts. And actually, I have an idea that I'd love to get your opinion on. So give me a call back and we can talk about how we can help you fight these charges," right? People love to have their opinions heard. And also that curiosity, people can't help themselves with that curiosity, right? So those are the ways that you can sign people up. And like you can have a person in your staff do all this. We actually have an entire company called Attorney Assistant that specializes in this very thing. So if you want help with that, just type attorney assistant in the comments and we'll have somebody reach out to you about how you can actually set this up and how we can help you build this system out. But that's not the point of this video. So let's talk about how do you generate the leads in the first place, right? How do you actually generate the leads? Well, most of the time, lawyers run Facebook ads and the Facebook ads say, basically, "Hire me, I'm a lawyer," right? They say, are you getting a divorce? Call me today, right? But that's not really what people go on Facebook for. People are not on Facebook looking for ads. They're looking to be entertained or informed, right? So one of the things that Ethan does and one of the strategies that I love is something called misconception marketing, right? And that's where you talk about a misconception. You film a video that actually educates people about something that is related to your practice area. So, for example, if you're a car accident attorney, you can say, most people think that after a car accident, they will get a much bigger settlement if they don't hire an attorney. And the reality is that's what the insurance companies want you to think. And the reason why is because studies have proven that by hiring a car accident attorney to represent you in a car accident case, you actually get 4 times more money in your pocket, even after paying the attorney their fee, than you would have gotten had you just worked with the insurance company on their own, because the insurance companies know all these tricks they can use to avoid paying you. And a seasoned attorney doesn't let that happen. So if you know someone who's been in a car accident and needs to talk to an attorney, tag them below or click the link and we'd be happy to help them out, right? So misconceptions, like what are the misconceptions that people have in your market? So for example, if you're a family law attorney, you can talk to fathers or you can talk to mothers. You can say, most fathers think that because they're male, they have no rights and they're not going to get custody. Well, that's not actually the case. In fact, we have helped many fathers get equal custody, and some of them even get child support from the mother. Now, if you believe this lie and you believe this misconception and you want us to help you with a divorce or a child custody case, or you have any questions about a family law issue, then feel free to contact us. Just click the link around this video and we will help you and point you in the right direction. If we can't help you, we'll point you in the direction of somebody who can, right? Those types of videos, they're called misconception marketing. You're correcting a misconception, right? But you're not just saying, hey, I'm an attorney, hire me. You're actually providing some sort of value. Now, what's interesting is that you don't have to overthink these. Just use this phone right here. Use your iPhone. The best ad that Ethan ever had, he filmed in his pajamas, right? So you don't have to be dressed up. You don't have to overthink it. Just use your phone and do some misconception marketing. So if you use misconception marketing and then you understand that only 8% of the leads are going to be good, but if you figure out a way to sort the 8% out, you can get really, really cheap cases. And the way you do that is through the intake process that I described in this video. Now, if you want a cheat sheet that shows you exactly how to do all this stuff, that basically recaps everything we talked about in this video, then just comment below this video. Be sure to like the video and comment below, and someone on my team will send you the cheat sheet. We'll make sure that you get the cheat sheet. And don't forget to get your ticket to the New Year, New You 2024 bootcamp. Again, we figured out basically if you want a law firm that gives you more revenue, gives you more profit, gives you more freedom, then this is all you need right here. You just need these 4 things, right? You just need a lead generation system. You need an intake system that reliably converts those leads from lead to client, because without an intake system, like it's like what we talked about, like without an intake system, you can have a million leads it doesn't matter how many leads you get. You're not going to get any clients, right? But then the next problem is that when you start getting lots and lots and lots of clients, well, now you're working 90 hours a week trying to fulfill all the stuff for the clients. And then, it all falls apart. So you have to make sure that you have a self-managing team. So how do you hire rock stars? How do you train them? How do you hold them accountable? Like all those types of things. And how do you build processes to make sure that they're doing exactly what you want them to do? Well, that's stage 3. And then step 4 is profits. How do you tie all this together to make sure that your profit doesn't get eaten up by all your expenses? How do you make sure that when your revenue goes up, your profits don't go, or your expenses don't go like this, but you actually make a profit, right? And it's important that you make a profit, because then you can reinvest in your business. You can reinvest in marketing. You can hire A players who can actually deliver amazing results for your clients. And you can finally take some time off. So many of our clients, the biggest compliment that we get, or the biggest, I guess, testimonial that we get from clients is, I was finally able to take a real vacation, right? A real vacation, not one of those vacations where you're on vacation, but you're actually on the phone or your computer the entire time, but actually like go to a desert island with no internet. And their business doesn't fall apart. Their law firm doesn't fall apart. They continue to get clients. Their clients that they have continue to get amazing results. Well, that's what we're going to show you a New Year, New You 2022 Bootcamp. So the link to get your $1 ticket, which the prices are going up soon, is in the it's in the description. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, if you want the cheat sheet, just comment that you want the cheat sheet in the comments below. Like the video, and we'll send it your way. So I hope you guys have a great one, and we will talk to you soon.